The MMA fighter that destroyed the Tai Chi master is Bruce Lee. If you have a problem with him, you should have a problem with Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee did the exact same thing. He told the Chinese and people in Hong Kong that their martial arts was BS, but he did it in 1973. So let's get into this guy and show what he did. For weeks, the mixed martial arts fighter Xiaodong Is had been taunting masters of the traditional Chinese martial arts, dismissing them as overly commercialized frauds and challenging them to put up or shut up. After one of them, Wei Lee, a practitioner of Thunderchild the Tai Chi, accepted the challenge, Mr. Chu flattening him in about 10 seconds. Now everybody knows that Tai Chi is not about combat. Proved his point, he was unprepared of the ensuing outrage. When the video was drubbing went viral, many Chinese were deeply offended by what they saw as an insult to cornerstone of the traditional Chinese culture. And it is. Because all the martial arts is not BS. But here's the fight right here. As you see, he go off. Now comes out even a more insulting because he's using Western boxing, something else Bruce Lee picked up. Look at that, straight punches, bop, 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 and then pounds him. And traditionally, that's not how fights go down. You beat an old man like that, and that's the exact same thing Bruce Lee was doing. Bruce Lee was challenging people of their unconventional martial arts. Bruce Lee has said even in America that those routines that you're training leads to nothing. Bruce Lee was more about reaction and muscle memory, doing so many combinations so many times that they come naturally, not these fixed routines. Now listen.
Is basically a Chinese system is kung fu, so naturally we were interested. And I remember him saying, and these are his words, I'm quoting him directly. He said, 95% of what they are teaching over there is commercial bullshit. Did I hear that right? 95% of the martial arts being taught in Hong Kong in the early 60s was, in Bruce Lee's opinion, commercial bullshit? Wow. But then he went on, and he said, and of the other 5%, he says, half of them are trying, but they don't know what they're doing. Now I'm like, wait a minute. That's 97.5% of everything that's being taught. So that left like 2.5%. And we asked, well, how about those guys? I said, those guys really know what they're doing.
So here we have it, right there. Another thing sounded like Bruce Lee, where he's saying, you can read this, but he's basically saying he's going to tell his next opponents and he's not concerned about weight. Now that's what Bruce Lee was doing out in the 70s. Video of the fight went viral, and Chu later seemingly mocked other Chinese martial arts as he revealed several other kung fu masters had come forward challenging him to fight to defend their honor. The brawler mocked them on Chinese Twitter, claiming he could take 2 or 3 of them at once. Now after he beat this Tai Chi master mercilessly, who the master seemed like he definitely wasn't prepared for what was coming to him. Maybe he thought they was going to be doing a more traditional point system, or maybe he just wasn't expecting those punches coming like they did. I even went so far as to say, what exactly are traditional Chinese martial arts? But the prompted huge backlash that has seen Chu forced to go into hide in the corners of the message circulating online. I lost everything, my career, everything. I think many people misunderstood me. Another thing that Bruce Lee was see, this is the whole problem.
I did take the
you want to check this
some research right after he died, because we were concerned that maybe the Klan was very unhappy with Bruce teaching Wing Chun, and we were his first disciples. And
let me have you back up about that. What Klan and what is Wing Chun?
Clans are like Charlie Fought, Hungar, all these different styles. He'd tell them, yeah, that's Roman. And they'd say, he'd punch him out if they didn't like it. The guy had the ability. He had no respect for the system from the standpoint of its cultural value, its heritage, why a person went into it as far as personal growth. I didn't feel he had that respect. I felt that he only related on a physical level to a great degree. If he was better than that style, he would beat that style, then he looked down on it. He let these people off. Can I get your name again? Jimmy Mile. That would be E-double-M-I-L-E. And
are they who they say they are?
Like the chief in Hong Kong. So if you insult somebody's style, you're master.
It's more than insulting a physical style. It's as you are insulting a religion.
Yes, that's it. A lot of people are that way. And even to this day. So Bruce was an abrasive individual. By that I simply mean if he felt that he could beat your style, he could beat your technique, he had a tendency to downplay. He had a tendency to belittle your style. Well, in Hong Kong, people go into their style not just for fun, but very often for the heritage and the cultural aspects of it, for their love of the master, their love of the art. And life is cheap in Hong Kong. So therefore, I originally believed that it was very feasible that somebody would have killed him from one of the clans, could have poisoned him, done any number of things, that in retribution for the insult to what they would consider their master.
On the basis of what? Tell me once again what you think did kill Bruce and why you think that at this point.
Yeah, I think he was poisoned for the simple reason that, again, he was antagonistic to some very influential, very strong, very important people in the industry, the film industry. And I based that on my original research right after his death with very close friends of mine in Hawaii who had relatives working in the industry and realized that there was a lot of tension going on in the industry itself about Bruce because of Bruce's attitude. And Bruce, although he had many agreements with people, was beginning to give out the impression that these agreements were not written in stone and that he wasn't going to be held back and that he was going to show them all how to do it. And so, again, the feeling of threat to this big money.
Beyond the general feelings of tension from any of the things that your contacts in Hawaii told you, was there any hard evidence of poisoning?
Well, the hard evidence, it's really hard to say other than when you look closely at the autopsy report, at the circumstances involved and the time element of when he died, the previous experience that he had when he passed out. Bruce was just in too good a physical shape to have had that happen.
Now, let's think about this for a minute. If this guy is forced into going to hiding in 2073, imagine what Bruce was going through in 1973. But the problem is Bruce was trying to wake up the Chinese. Mixed martial arts was started by the Chinese, and mixed martial arts was started from the Ming Dynasty, because that's where Bruce Lee is from, and he's the one who created mixed martial arts. At a time when you couldn't find a karate dojo in America, he already was mixing martial arts together. So you gotta think somebody who's not thinking about these traditional martial arts, and you gotta think how hard it was for one of them to beat Bruce. Bruce was beating the brakes off of people and calling them out and disrespecting their martial art, telling them that it's garbage, it is BS. The same thing that this guy is doing. So if you don't like him, you can't like Bruce. Let's not forget, Bruce was banned in China to the 2000s. Lay not upon yourself treasure upon earth, where moth and rust does corrupt and where thieves break through and steal. And that's what happened to Bruce. They stole everything of his. The dude who was doing his movies ended up owning all the rights. There was 1,000 different movies coming out stealing his likeness. 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some converted after they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And that's what you going through, this dying early, these sorrows upon your heart, sorrows upon your family. 1 Timothy 6:17-19, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded. You can't get into your high and thinking you're better than everybody else, nor trust in certain riches, but in the living God who given us richly all things to enjoy. Now this reminds me of a little parable. I used to come up with parables all the time. I just came up with one. Given to me by the Most High. 3 men that put trust in 3 different things. The first man put trust in himself and all the things that he had. The second man put trust in the system and all the things that it could do for him. But the third man put trust in the Lord and asked all he could do for God. All praises to the Most High.